You're now tuned into the Lady Charmaine Live show, and I'm your host, Lady Charmaine. And as always, I got another great interview for you today. Now, this person has the ability to go from bringing characters to life on screen to writing and producing films, as well as recording soulful sounds under his moniker. And he is here today to talk about one of his brand new projects. And I'll tell you who it is coming up right after this. My guest today has become known in the entertainment industry for his raw and refined talent, charisma, and moving presence. He has appeared in movies and television shows like Desperate Housewives, True Blood, Tyler Perry's Nobody's Fool, and currently Supergirl. And he is here today to talk about his new single, Ocean. Help me welcome to the Lady Charmaine Live show, Mr. Mechad Brooks. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Lady Charmaine? Thanks for having me.
I am good. See, there go that sultry voice from Nobody's Fool. That I was waiting for it to come out, you know. And now, if anybody see Nobody's Fool, you all heard this beautiful, sultry, sexy voice that we all thought was a fake on Nobody's Fool. And this is Mr. Mechad Brooks. Well, welcome to the show. Well, I had a question for you because we all came to know you on Desperate Housewives, and you starred opposite Miss Alfre Wood.
Yeah.
And she was just here a couple weeks ago. And this was like one of the first times I really seen a weird black family on TV. And it was Desperate Housewives, but you guys did such a good job.
Right.
What was it like for you to have a big role on a very popular show, and it was basically right out the gate for you? What was that like?
It was incredible. It was life changing. I mean, I went from like washing storefront windows like 1 month to like a few months later in Europe, getting mobbed outside of my hotel room. Like, it was crazy. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was back when people were, like 30 million people a week were watching it live, that kind of thing. So it changed my life overnight. It was like one of those kind of success stories you sort of hear about. It was crazy.
Now, because one of the funny things to me was because I literally saw the premiere of Desperate Housewives from my hospital bed. I was literally in the hospital.
Really?
Yes, from my hospital bed. I was in the hospital because I had a bowel obstruction, and they didn't think I was actually going to live. So I watched the premiere there. So Desperate Housewives is literally like a part of my history. So my husband and we laid in my hospital bed and watched the premiere of the show. So that's why Desperate Housewives always be a part of my history. But I want to tell people a little bit about you. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I'm happy I can be part of your history like that, and I'm happy you made it through. I'm very happy you made it through.
Look, me too. So praise the Lord, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. Today. Do you still keep in contact with some of your former castmates from Desperate Housewives, like Felicity Huffman?
I have not spoken to Felicity in years, but I talk to Terry Hatcher a lot.
Okay.
We're still friends.
Awesome. And then I want to know real quick, how did your career begin? How did you go into acting? Because you are a man of many talents. You're also a musician. You're a singer. So how did you get into acting?
I got to LA. I got to LA when I was 18 years old. I went to USC Film School, but then I just sort of acting is a different monster. Like there's no blueprint, right? So there's no right way to do it, no wrong way to do it. So actually, you know what? I snuck into a callback with Richard Linklater, and I wasn't supposed to be there, so I just felt like a friend of mine and my brother were auditioning for this movie, and we muscled my way in,
Mm-hmm.
and then I ended up booking the movie. So it was kind of like, it just kind of goes to show you, like, there is no blueprint. There's no right way to do anything. It's just like, you just have to believe you can do it and just let your feet follow.
Now, did you say you went with a friend?
I went to the audition with my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and a friend of mine was also there, and my
Mm.
brother had a callback,
And you
and
got the
my
role.
friend had a callback, but I wasn't even in town when the first audition happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I ended up getting the role, which was a blessing.
Now, let me
So
tell you something. This is one of the things,
yeah,
Mechad, I always tell people do not bring a friend with you to an audition or a relative or anything. Why? Because the same thing happened to me. That's how I got my very first movie role. My girlfriends called me. I went with them.
okay.
I got the part. So that's just a word to the wise. Go by yourself. Go by
What?
yourself.
Yeah, it's yeah, maybe so.
So now I want to talk about your new single because you are you're recording under the moniker King GVPSV. First, let's talk about what does GVPSV stand for.
It's a very interesting way of spelling gypsy, which I am. So
Oh.
basically, I mean, like, I'm kind of like you. Like, I've been through a lot in my life too. Like, I May 20th, 2009, I passed away. I was in the hospital and I passed away.
Mm.
And I went to the other side and I came back. And what that taught me was two things about myself: was that I think that we all have these kingdoms inside of ourselves. Like, we all have this terrain inside of ourselves. This kingdom that we can rule, right?
Hmm.
And so, if you can rule your inner self, then the outside world is not as difficult. Also, gypsy is just about the fact that, and it kind of relates to oceans as well in this single, is that we're all passers-by in this life, and like, you don't really have to have a home to have a home. Like, if your body, if your vessel is your home, then no matter where you are on the earth, you're at home, right?
Mm.
So that's what that's about, like not truly having a spatial home because you are your home. And I think a lot of people understand that and some people don't, but it is what it is. So the single is called Oceans because I believe that we are vessels, like, in any relationship, right?
Hmm.
We are ships, we're vessels for the soul. And we're all relating in our own way in this ocean of existence. And so some of us will relate for the rest of our lives, have the exact same sort of, pathway and the exact same sort of journey, and you'll be twin ships helping each other through the rocky waters of life. And then some of us are going to be ships that are just kind of pass each other in the night.
Mm.
And Oceans is really about two ships that are wanting to be together, and society being what it is, and a woman choosing to do her own thing, and that's not really a man's concern. Like, I heard all this music about men judging women, or putting our own spin on their behavior, and like what that means,
Hmm.
and if that even should be taken in consideration, because if you're a man, what does it matter what a woman's doing?
Hmm.
If you're a man, your opinion should not be reigning as a judgment or a value on her behavior, right? So that's kind of what the song is about. Like, the fact that a woman can do whatever she wants in our society. Sometimes that's looked down upon,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Sometimes men go, oh, and not the same thing bad about Drake, whatever the case is, but like, you're a good girl, and you know it, right? So, but you're the one telling her she's a good girl.
Hmm.
How are you doing that?
Oh.
How are you the judge? You feel me? Like, so, like, it's almost like I have my judgment, I have my opinion, but my opinion doesn't mean anything because
Mm.
it's your life, and
Okay.
I'm gonna support that.
Interesting
I,
spin. Interesting spin on that. Interesting perspective, I might say.
Yeah, I would say this though. I mean, like, pretty much any man who was born in America, right, which is a very patriarchal society, and somewhat shallow society, we're kind of sexist. All men in America are kind of sexist if you haven't examined the fact that you might be, right.
Hmm. Good.
Like, so we grow up in a patriarchal society. We grow up subjugating women to a certain extent. And if you haven't realized that that's your second nature as a man in this country, then that's what you're doing. And we're writing songs from that perspective, and we're dealing with our relationships from that perspective. And so that I'm trying to stop that from happening.
Well, look at you. Well, I love it.
With this song.
So where can people actually go to download the song, purchase the song? How can they pick it up?
You can download, you can stream, you can purchase. I mean, pretty much anywhere where you get your music. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Deezer. I mean, like, I think most people are doing iTunes and Spotify these days.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's everywhere. So it's King. Yeah, it's King Gypsy with V's, and the song is Ocean.
Awesome. Again, Mechad, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I want to remind the audience, make sure you go purchase it, stream it, Spotify, iTunes, just like you said. And again, I look forward to having you back on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And again, that's Mr. Sexy Voice, Mr. Mechad Brooks. You know his voice from Nobody's Fool. I just had to just say it. I just love the deep, sexy, sultry voices. And again, it's always a pleasure. And make sure everyone, you guys tune into Hot Topics with Lady Charmaine this Thursday night at 7 p.m. And if you want to join me for my movie night, be sure to sign up for Lady Charmaine Night Out at the Movies to see Little, starring Issa Rae and my girl, Miss Regina Hall and Marisai Martin. It's going to be this coming April. It's going to be in the next 2 weeks. So make sure you go and sign up today so you can make sure you get an email from me personally, letting you know when and where to show up. And I look forward to having you there. And again, thank you to my guest today, Mr. Mechad Brooks.